this is where I have to say my women are different. You have to adapt. So this is the grape spectrum. As you can see, there looks to be some sort of pole here. There's a thing here, and it's a temperature. What would be red is a big time assault. What would be green is on the spectrum of it. All right, of the spectrum of it. Let me read the greens. They have these numbers here. All right, 12, 45, 60, 100% grape. All right, so let's do 100%. A 100% grape would be a stranger forcibly assaults someone who screams and fights the entire time. That would be a 100. 91 would be a person who has a grape fetish. Their friend, trying to be helpful, gets a stranger to abduct and forcibly penetrate the person. Okay. Then you have right here on the 77, a husband forcing sex upon a wife in a traditional culture where she doesn't perceive this as wrongdoing. Bruh, your guy. This is your ecclesiastical marriage right there. That's a 77. That's third on the spectrum. Is a husband forcing sex upon a wife in a traditional culture where she doesn't perceive this as wrongdoing. But I lost. I told you this sounds grapey to me. For social pressure from the community, preacher, pulpit, forcing them to have sex. That's literally number 3 on the temperature. But that's your king. I mean, come on. Come on. This ain't 1970 and 1950. All right, let's go up to the top. Having sex with an unenthusiastic sex worker is the lowest on the temperature, but it's on the spectrum. So if the sex worker is selling sex, but she's unenthusiastic about it, it's on the spectrum. What about this? Having sex to make a partner happy in a relationship. Woo! Dude, I'm telling you, man. So your wife goes, I'm going to give him some pity pussy. He's pouting because I haven't had sex with him for 3 days or 4 days. And she sleeps with you. It's on the grape spectrum. Nigga, ring the bell, bro. But y'all think this is different. Y'all think this is 1950s. Good luck. And by the way, they study this in college, by the way. Your daughter is going to college and they're being introduced to this. Let's continue. Person with Down syndrome engaging eagerly having sex with a neurotypical. Oh, I don't know all these terms. So I warned you about that too. Down syndrome people I wouldn't mess with, but a Down syndrome person eagerly having sex with a neurotypical, which I think is a regular person. So just because they have Down syndrome and they're eager about it, it's not good. Okay. This one says lying about wealth, hobbies in order to get laid. Oh my God. Woo! So number 18 literally is you're running game on them. You're lying about your wealth and hobbies, your job. I told you about that. We saw that happening about 3 or 4 years ago, where men lying about their job and they say they are a doctor and then they get laid and then the woman finds out you're not a doctor. Woo-wee. It says right here, not revealing your transgender until after sex. Yep, I got that one. Pretending to like a sexual hookup out of fear of disrupting mutual social circles. Wowzers. Hook up with one person that appears nervous and tense, but doesn't say no. Oh my God. All right. So you got to watch out. That's getting in the yellow category. Stealing money back after paying a sex worker for sex. By the way, I think if you make a deal with a sex worker, I mean, it's hard for them, but they're even protective of sex workers and feminists. So if you have sex with a sex worker and you don't pay her or you steal the money back, that could be in the grape spectrum, sexual assault in their mind. I'm not saying it is. Enthusiastically interested person gets very drunk on a date. The other person is sober and they have sex. All right, we've heard that one before. Using serious emotional pressure and guilt to get sex in a relationship. A 16-year-old eagerly having sex with a 26-year-old. Wow. All right, which I would say, is that male or female? How about this one? Sex with someone who resists and says no, but who secretly really wants it. Wait, sex with someone who resists and says no, but who secretly really wants it. That's a little confusing. Uninterested, reserved person gets very drunk on a date. The other person is sober. They have sex. We have this one. Person A clearly says no to sex. After repeated attempts, person A gets tired and eventually gives in. I've agreed with that one. All right, you got to watch out for that one. So men will get caught in that one too. So this is overcoming her rejection. Please, baby, let me get it. Okay, and the person says, "All right, finally, I'll give you that pussy." All right, and then, but that's considered 46 on the grape spectrum. I agree with that one. That's what you got to watch out for that one. During sex, person A begins hitting, biting, choking person B. Without asking. B pretends to like it out of fear and of making him more violent. Oh. All right, so this is where I gotta get.
I like to get dominated.
All right, that's for me. I gotta watch out for that one. All right, you gotta watch out for that one. All right, you gotta get consent in today's day and age. All right.
I like to get dominated.
All right, so hitting, biting, choking without asking. Person B pretends to like it out of fear of getting beat up and choked worse. Last one, sneakingly removing a condom during sex. That is on the high. That's called stealthing. That's called stealthing, and that is a sexual assault. That is a rape. All right. So if she assumes that you have a condom on and you unroll that condom and penetrate her, even if you don't get the strokes in, that could be a sexual assault. That certainly is legally a sexual assault. All right. So you do have to be careful here. This is what these guys don't understand, man. Like, it ain't the old days. These women have had a whole bunch of training. They've had classes. They've had gender studies. And then I got you telling me there's going to be pill pit pressure and social pressure for these women to have sex. Like, man. All right. This is where men, mouthpiece guys, even guys that are dominating sex, like you like to choke and pull hair and shit like that. If the woman pretends to like it, but then you don't give her aftercare or you don't give her something and she goes home and then she can be like, well, I got sexually assaulted. You're like, how? All right. So times have changed. Men haven't changed. With that being said, I do have 2 more videos to this one. Let me see. Or 1 more video. This guy's saying here that men are failing to adapt. All right. So let's see here. And you might not agree with him. I understand, because I think men don't want to be challenged. They want their conventional wisdom of traditionalism and Bible thumping and ecclesiastic sky daddy and ghosts. You guys want to think that that's going to prevail in today's marketplace. The Money Mindset 2025. Join us if you are looking to elevate your mindset to the next level and get your financial information and game back to where it needs to be. This is the Blue Chip Mindset on steroids. We have 80 plus episodes from the last 2 years that you missed available via playback. You can get all of those episodes. Also, every live stream on Sunday night with all of our great contributors with subjects, cryptocurrency, investment, money 101, money 201. Also, if you're looking to become a social media content creator, this is the group for you. 2 times a month, we give you content creator information about how much money you can make via content creation. What are the most popular forms of content creation coming forward in the next few years, and how you can capitalize on an opportunity to be a content creator. Join patreon.com/Coach Greg Adams to find the Money Mindset link. Let's get our Blue Chip Mindset on. The window is still open.